What's up, everybody? Sujan Patel here. Another video on sales mastery. I've got Alex Greer, the CEO of Signal HQ. I'm super pumped to talk to you because this is something I get pitched all the time, and I'm dying, and I'm wondering of like how the heck people know when to pitch. So, Alex, welcome. Do you mind
Thank you
introducing
so
yourself?
much. Yeah, it's really exciting to be part of this podcast. Thanks for inviting me to be on. I'm founder and CEO of Signal HQ, business I started the beginning of 2018. And we're really passionate about helping companies, especially sales and marketing, be a lot smarter about which companies to reach out to at the right time. There's a lot of data out there that is really powerful and not always tapped into. And we want to help, really make it easy to understand and easy to act on, see which companies are starting to show some kind of movement where if you reach out, you're going to really be nailing the timing piece and generate opportunities much more efficiently.
Awesome. Yeah, I look forward to this. So, today's topic is on how to uncover buying signals to open an outreach opportunity. So, with that said, like, what the heck is a buying signal? You mind just kind of walking through that?
Yeah, sure. So, let's start by covering, what we know as far as when we field inbound leads. People will go and fill out a form on a website. They'll, download the white paper or the piece of software and they register their email address. And that's how we field our inbound leads. But there's a lot of steps that happen before an individual reaches the point of, let's say, going on Mailshake and trying out a free piece of software. And those things are actually things that you can really start paying attention to and listening for. And we call them buying signals. Other folks call them trigger events. And really, it's a lot of the things that happen upstream, let's say, in the buyer journey before they ever reach your website. So that could be things like project announcements, job posts, people that actually announce that they've been hired or promoted into a role. And now there's a lot of data that tells you if a company is researching solutions across the broader internet, or they're engaging with your website and your emails, even if they don't fill out a form. All of those are what I would call buying signals that, if you know how to interpret them, can really help you prioritize your outreach efforts.
Yeah, I love it. That's, I think that's super impactful, right? To reach out at the right time. Obviously, there's a lot of people, I think we talked about this before, 99% of people just do garbage outreach at any given time, right? But doing it at the right time is kind of, to me, almost half the battle, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I'd say, so this will be something that a lot of people will be familiar with, is usually once you get to the point of having an SDR team, your company has started to get a sense of what the product market fit is in terms of their ICP, their ideal customer profile, both on the company level and on the personas. And so you'll go and you'll buy a tool like a Zoom Info or an Everstring and say, okay, we want to grab all of these companies that are of this certain size, with this headquarter location in these industries. Bam, it's loaded into our CRM, great. And then we really like to initiate opportunities with director level and above folks in IT or in marketing or what have you. And there's lists readily available for that. And so you've nailed the, out of the right person, right time, right message piece, you've at least got the right person part. But that's often where the science of the outreach stops, is this like going and grabbing all of the relevant titles at the accounts that I'm responsible for, and then shooting them out a one-off email or a sequence of emails trying to get a hold of them. And what we're trying to help is, okay, once you've got that piece and assuming you've got some relevant messaging, how can we nail the timing piece so that you're not diluting your own message and hitting these people over and over again and drowning yourself out in the event that there is a particular time where there might be some interest.
Yep, that makes complete sense, right? Getting more information to help you kind of get as much as you can to be successful. So, I guess like how would one kind of go about identifying kind of the signals for my business? Like what like I got my ICP, but like how do I figure out the buying signal? Because there's so many, right?
Sure, there are quite a few. The first thing I like to show is I shared a graphic with you that you're welcome to share with your audience that kind of breaks down the signals or trigger events into a few discrete buckets. The first thing I always ask our customers when we start talking about this is, are there particular types of movement that really lead to a particularly ripe opportunity? And for some companies, a certain type of signal is more relevant than other ones. Often, one of them will be, let's take Mailshake, for example. You sell to teams that have an SDR organization. It would be helpful to you if you knew that a company was hiring for that role.
Hmm.
And not only that, perhaps they're also hiring for a manager or even a director or VP of inside sales. That tells you that the company is starting to make moves to really invest in that function. And usually, when they're investing in the headcount, they're also investing in technology. Um, Another example would be there's ways to detect, again, going on this thread of detecting new sales teams being spun up. Oftentimes that coincides with an expansion to a new office location. So you could set up totally for free with a Google alert a particular search function that looks for any type of mention for new office or office expansion. If you wanted to get down to the named account level, you would say, let's say Microsoft and new office or office expansion or new sales team or something like that. And that way, anytime some type of article is published that matches that search criteria, you get notified about it. And you can reach out at that time and not only offer your solution, but just offer to be a resource in general and separate yourself from being a vendor to more of a trusted solution provider.
I love it. So yeah, good way. So for Mailshake, I'm stealing this, by the way. I'm giving this right to my sales team right now. So anyone hiring sales managers, SDRs, whoever, um, and if they've moved offices, even great. It's a better qualifier that they're scaling up. That's great to know. So,
Yeah.
and we're going to
So
share this
both of
in.
those are, sure.
Go ahead.
Uh, Sorry to interrupt. So both of those are free things that you can set up. The job post one, I use Google Jobs for that. I found is even more robust than we used to use like Indeed and LinkedIn Jobs, but now Google aggregates all of these posts from all of these sites. So I recommend using that. And then Google Alerts, you go to google.com/alerts. If you start using paid tools, LinkedIn Sales Navigator, I find, is a tool that most companies, once they reach a certain maturity, purchase. And so, similar kind of idea here, just one step further in the journey, you can set up a search, an advanced search that says, look for people in the United States, let's say in the industry of technology, with a title matching director or VP or manager, quote, and or parentheses, and uh, inside sales or sales development or business development. And then at the top of that screen, maybe I'll put together a screenshot for you to share with your audience. There's a feature that it'll show you all results, but then you can also choose something that says change jobs in the last 90 days. Click on that and then save that as a search. And you'll start getting email digests weekly of anybody new that matches that criteria. And the message can be very simple. You don't want to overwhelm them because they're probably going to get hit with a lot of people. But hey, I noticed you're in this role. We help people in your role. When you're ready, would love to have a conversation and see how our solution can help as you build out your team. Real simple. A lot of people leave a lot of functionality on the table in general with the tools that they have at their disposal. I'm sure you see it with the Mailshake users. I think one of the things in general I'd recommend to your audience, especially in sales development, is really learn about advanced search functionality and Boolean searches. You'll get a lot more focused results if you know how to master that.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love the fact that you're mentioning really two obvious search tools, right? Google, free, duh. Just have to use the searches. And in the show notes or blog posts associated with this video, we'll whip up some kind of examples so you guys can use after this. And so it's really simple. You can kind of replace the keywords with whatever you're going to use. I think also LinkedIn, not necessarily free, but even on the free LinkedIn, you couldn't do the opt-in or, the last 90 days or whatever. But even on free LinkedIn, there's ways to do a lot of very advanced things just by doing custom filters or like adding in a combination of certain filters or criteria. So thank you for sharing.
Totally.
I love it. You know who, I'm going to ask you this, but I'll tell you mine first. My favorite company who does a great job at this is HubSpot. They do it in such a good way that they don't really, it doesn't feel salesy or scammy or like feels like I don't feel bad about it. I actually want to talk to them, right? Uh, at least this is what they did to me. So this is my kind of experience. When I was the head of marketing at when I work a SaaS company, they saw I moved positions, right? Hey, congrats on the position. Are you using HubSpot and or any HubSpot products? And they got me on the phone, right? And on the phone, they're like, look, I know you're probably not using it. We told them no. And they're like, okay, well, here's like 3 ways you can optimize kind of what you're doing. And he just gave me 3 free tools from HubSpot. So, got me hooked on the drug, right?
Oh, nice. Yeah.
And we didn't end up going forward with HubSpot, but like one of those things was just eye-opening because it was just like low-hanging fruit, right? So like the sales guy who knows nothing about my marketing strategy helped me solve a marketing problem, right? And so it was just really interesting. What have you seen any company, or I guess like what's your favorite company that does a good job at this?
As far as kind of cold outreach to me, that I've
maybe to you or
experienced.
what you've seen, like any of your clients, what have you.
Yeah.
Sorry to put you on the spot. I should have warned you in advance.
I'll have to come back to you because honestly, I can't think of any right off the top of my head, which is both a little sad, but also an exciting opportunity for your audience because the quality of the average outreach is usually so generic that if you implement some of these tactics, you will absolutely stand out from the rest.
That's a very powerful thing because I think I always talk about personalization, right? Like, hey, everybody, you need to personalize your email copy. You need to personalize what you say. But this is personalization to an individual segment, right? Like this is personalization not at the copy level, at the list, at the ICP level.
Yeah. I mean, and the personalization, people start to get really kind of anxious about how much work that can entail. But you can set up your tools for outbound, like with Mailshake, I'm sure, where most of the email is templatized, but you leave yourself room to customize on maybe the subject header a little bit and the first sentence a little bit. You don't need to customize the entire thing. Just a couple of really relevant pieces that clearly show that your sending something more directed to that individual person that doesn't apply across the board can be really powerful.
Absolutely. I love it. That's such a powerful thing. So a small amount of personalization, just that extra bit of work does just go so far. So Alex, thank you for joining us. Super helpful. I know I'm going to steal this strategy here and talk to my team about better utilizing buying signals. So where can people go to find more about you and learn more?
Sure. I would love for any of your audience members to connect with me on LinkedIn. The best way to find me is to include my middle name. So my name is Alex Pilafidis Greer. We'll include the link to my LinkedIn on my show notes. Would love for you to visit our website at signal-hq.com. You'll see a little bit about what we're up to and engage with us there. And so those are really the best ways, is reach out on LinkedIn, reach out on our website. Would love to have a conversation with you and help share this knowledge. We really are passionate about engaging the B2B sales force out there.
Love it. Thanks, Alex. This has been super helpful. I know, again, I'm going to go take some action right now. So yeah, thanks again. And we'll be including the images and kind of details you talked about and examples in the content below. So take a look out for that.
Awesome. Thank you, Sujin.